It started like any other night. A man in his late 40s, sitting at his desk, trying to shake off the weight of another day, the hum of the internet's hidden corners, just me, my laptop, and the quiet stillness of the night, the sort of stillness that comes after years of routine, the kind that feels a little too thick. You see, I've been around the internet long enough to know it's full of ghosts, old forums, decaying sites, data that just lingers in the background. I wasn't trying to dig up anything unusual. I was just looking around, a little code here, a broken link there, just something to pass the time. But then I found it, a file, buried in a forgotten server. And at first it didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary, just a file titled The Code of Silence. I don't know what made me click it, but I did. That was the beginning. It was just a jumble of numbers and letters like some encrypted code. But there was something about it. Something different. A rhythm, almost. Like it was alive, if that makes sense. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how it felt. I've been working with code for decades. First as a software engineer, then as a freelance hacker when the work dried up. But I've never seen anything like this. The deeper I went, the more it became clear. This wasn't just random data. It was intentional. And there was a structure to it. That's when I started to realize I wasn't just looking at some obscure file. I was looking at a map. And at first, I thought it was some sort of hacker treasure hunt, a game. But the deeper I dug, the stranger it became. The code led me to a series of dead forums, half-archived chat rooms, and strange, incomplete websites. But there was one thing that stood out. It wasn't just a trail. It was a pattern. And then I found the blog. The name alone, Whispers from the Hollow, should have told me to stop, but like a fool I went ahead and opened it. It was a poorly maintained blog with barely any traffic. Most of the posts were years old, just cryptic ramblings from someone who called themselves the Watcher. The last entry was the one that made my blood run cold. If you're reading this, you found it. You found the Hollow. It's already too late to turn back. The code is never finished. It will lead you to the next piece, and the next, until you can't tell where you started. That's when I realized I had stumbled onto something bigger than I could apprehend. The file wasn't just a puzzle. It was a warning. Now I could have backed out, walked away, but I didn't. I kept going. The more I investigated, the more I found. Details about real places, old towns with strange names, locations with no internet presence at all. One in particular, Whitley Grove, stood out. A town that didn't exist online. No mention of it anywhere. But there were reports, missing persons cases from the 90s. And the strangest part, the case files didn't add up. They were incomplete. And the names, the faces, there was something off about them. I dug into the missing person reports. Someone, Michael Haynes, kept popping up. A local reporter who disappeared while investigating something similar. He had been poking around Whitley Grove years before I ever did. So now, here I am, sitting in my cramped apartment trying to piece it all together, and all the while I can't shake this feeling that I'm being watched, followed. I've been through a lot in my life, but this This is different. I think I've found the next piece. It was a file, just like the first one, buried in an old system. Nothing to raise alarms. At least not at first. But when I opened it, I could feel the weight of it. A string of code. Incomplete. Broken. But with a pattern that almost seemed to fight me as I tried to decode it. And then I saw the name. The Watcher. This person, whoever he is, has been leaving these pieces behind for years. They've been to Whitley Grove. He's been where I'm going. He left me this trail for a reason. He wants me to find something. I don't know what it is. I don't know how far this will go. But the more I uncover, the more I realize this isn't just about missing people or some conspiracy. This is about something older, something dangerous. I've seen the warning signs before, but now it's too late to turn back. I'm in this. I have to see it through. I just don't know what I'll find at the end. One thing's for sure. It's not just about Whitley Grove anymore. There's something much bigger behind all of this. Something that's been waiting. And now, I've got a front row seat to whatever comes next. This is my story.